Okay, so I want to welcome everyone to our event tonight. I'm really excited about this because I've never done anything like this. In past, to be honest, it just seemed a little scary to kind of share different things and maybe get a little vulnerable, but I feel like that's exactly what God wants me to do. I kind of was thinking, what's the next step? And I feel like people just need to know this information more than what they do. And so I hope that, you join tonight and really have an open ear and open heart to just receive what we're going to say and just kind of have an open mind, because I know that if I was sitting in your shoes and I was listening to something like this 4 years ago when I knew nothing about this business, nothing about essential oils, I might think you were crazy. And that's fine if you think we're a little crazy, but just have an open mind and take whatever you can from this and just be open to receive the message that we have to share with you tonight. I, along with Jessica, are going to kind of go back and forth a little bit. So we have a few questions and kind of topics that we're going to go over. I posted them in the event, but I'm just going to kind of start on some. We're going to kind of go back and forth just to kind of share both of our experiences and just to add to basically what the other one, has said. And I'll kind of introduce Jessica before she talks. Maybe that would be good. But I first wanted to introduce myself, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started. So my name is Carrie Cootie. I have been building my business for about 3.5 years. I've been with doTERRA for 4 years. And I'm actually a pharmacist and really just got involved with doTERRA because I wanted to use these on myself and my family. But as I'll go through and kind of talk about, I got started on the most incredible journey that there's no way I could have known that when I first got my kid and was peering into it, wondering, are these oils just, did I just waste my money? Are they really going to work like they said they were going to work? I had all those questions, and obviously they work extremely well. I really fell in love with them quickly, but it took me a little while to kind of wrap my head around the business. But honestly, it just fell in my lap. This was not something that I wanted, that I started out with the intention that, I wanted to do this full time, eventually leave my pharmacy job. Never did I ever think that was possible. And so it's definitely been something that has been really just day by day. You see these things, you look back 6 months ago and you see how far you've come, and it just really starts reinforcing the fact that this can actually happen. This can actually be something that could be my full-time job and be something I love too. I used to think that it was just for the lucky people. The lucky people got to do what they loved, and maybe it was their hobby, or maybe it was just, whatever it might be. I just didn't think that was for me. I only really thought that was for a select few. But really, that's exactly what I get to do now, and I'll talk a little bit more about that more in detail. So I first wanted to talk about, kind of where I was before doTERRA, and then kind of go into why change is needed. And I'm going to be referring my notes some. I do have some notes because I didn't want to forget anything. So if you see me looking down, that's fine. I just have a few talking points. So before doTERRA, I was a full-time pharmacist. I thought I was healthy. It's interesting how you're going through life and you just think you're doing everything that you can and you're trying your best, which is not fault of mine. I just didn't know any better. But it's amazing now to look back. But thought I was healthy, but didn't really have a clue now that I look back. My body was clogged, full of just buildup that I had no idea I had. And then, I was really not fulfilled in what I did. Like I said, I was a pharmacist, and I'll go ahead and talk about, kind of why I went into pharmacy, and it really was a good bridge to this, honestly. So the reason that I went to school to be a pharmacist was that I always wanted to make sure that I was stable financially, whether I had a husband or not. I just always wanted to be able to take care of myself. I just remember thinking that time and time again. I just don't want to have to rely on anybody else for my income. That was one reason I went to pharmacy school. Obviously, they make a good living, and so I thought this is dependable, and so I just do this. Never really thought about the cost it would take to go through pharmacy school. Of course, I did love to serve people as well. Just really loved helping people. And I felt like, that was a great field to get into for that reason as well. Fast forward to, spending a lot of money. I went to a private school, and so I had a lot of debt when I got out into a full-time job and realized this might not be exactly what I thought it was going to be. Yes, I'm doing pharmacy, but was I fulfilled? No, I was not. You know, I just had this underlying feeling of there's got to be something more, but really I felt trapped because I had spent all this money, you know, and obviously I had to pay that back. And I mean, I was a main provider for our family. So, you know, I didn't really think about this that much. You know, I just kind of thought that's the way it was going to be. I was okay with it really until I had kids. Then, you know, it started to become something that I just really, you know, I didn't enjoy nearly as much. I hardly ever got to see my kids, especially when they were young. You know, you would get up, maybe see them an hour in the morning, an hour at night. And I just felt really like, am I really going to have to live like this the rest of my life? You know, I mean, is this just what you do? You know, and I guess nobody had really ever told me, hey, there's a different way. And so I just kind of went through, you know, those first couple of years out. And then, you know, with my kids and just being so young, it really made me want something more, but I didn't know another way. And so that was really where I was at before doTERRA. And I really can look at the pharmacy industry now and think it has changed a lot. You know, when I first got into pharmacy, I was in high school. It was like 1999, I believe. The average number of prescriptions was 2. And now, fast forward, it's about 7 per person. And so for me to see that in the state of our healthcare now, I can tell you for sure that I don't feel like I'm helping people in the best way that I can. And to me, that matters. You know, I want to feel like I'm helping people in the best way that I can. And I did not feel like that. And I still don't feel like that when I go to work. I still work pharmacy some, not full time, but every day going into work, working for somebody else's goals and dreams and not feeling fulfilled, you know, looking back, I just, you know, I'm so glad that I found a better way to just sum that all up. You know, my job was pretty stressful also. I felt like I would work just so hard. You know, I was a good multitasker. I felt like I did my absolute best. And then, you know, I had a job that I had to work till it was done. And so oftentimes I would get off late and really not see my family hardly at all at night. And so working that hard and not really advancing, not really moving up in pay, not that that's everything, but, you know, when you work hard, you kind of want to see a little bit of that. And then also just not working for my dream, not feeling fulfilled. So that's really where I was at before doTERRA. And I just wondered, you know, what was all this going to amount to? You know, I just didn't feel like I was very fulfilled in helping people in the best way that I could. And two, like I said, I didn't get to see my kids very much. And for me to think about that as them being young, you know, my daughter was 9 months old when I first got started with doTERRA. And I think I used my oils for about 6 months before I started actually trying to build my team. And then my son came along, and I just kept thinking about it more and more. Is this just how it's going to be? You know, I knew they were going to get involved in activities. Was I going to get to go to any of those? You know, and I just had this feeling of anytime I was off work, I felt like I needed to be with them. And that's not good either. We need time for ourselves, and just this always feeling guilty type of thing was something I felt a lot. And, you know, after I had my daughter, I think we just change as mothers. You know, I think that we just think about things more. I think we start to value our time at home more because as the mom, I know my kids need me. You know, they all need their mom. And I felt like I just wasn't there enough for them. Now I'm not, you know, I did the best I could. And I know that we all do the best we can. I'm not downplaying that at all. I mean, I know that every mom struggles with mom guilt, but I just wondered, you know, is there any way that I could see them more? Is this actually possible? Like I said, when I went to pharmacy school, I never thought that I would be able to even go part-time, much less leave my full-time job. It was just something that I never thought was possible because of lots of different things. I just also wanted to mention that being where I am now, thinking about 4 years ago, I knew nothing about essential oils. So this is not something that I took a course on. I didn't, you know, I mean, obviously I studied and have my own experiences, but I'm like, you know, if you're new to essential oils, if you're listening in and you don't know anything about them, that's where I was. So I just want to encourage you that, most people start there. There's very few people that, you know, maybe now more so people know more about essential oils, but a lot of people knew nothing and really just learned on their own. It's not something that you have to be an expert in, because I'm definitely not an expert. I remember getting my oils and just thinking, is this what I've been praying for? At the time I was tired. I was stressed out. I just felt like I was just run down. I was frustrated. And so I just remember looking at my box of oils, peering over them, thinking, is this what I've been praying for? Is this what, is this more than just, what meets the eye? Or have I wasted my money? Like I said, is it really going to work if I just, put them on topically? It's just something that I definitely thought about too, but little did I know that this is exactly, God put those in my life then for a reason. And he put a calling on my life that is bigger than I could have ever dreamed back then. And I'll get a little bit more into that as we go on. The next part to this question that I'm going to let Jessica kind of give her take on this is, why is change needed? So I really feel like when I interact with other mothers, I speak about mothers because that's who I relate to, because that's what I am. And so, we mostly have women on our team. And so when I interact with mothers now, it seems like, and I can see myself in them. They're always stressed out. They always seem tired. You just get that feeling like they don't take time for themselves. They don't really do something they enjoy. Obviously they enjoy being a mom, but just to hear, other moms talk, it's like, I just wish I had a little bit more time. I wish I had this or that. And so, I really feel like mothers need this type of business, but they also need the product. They need to just take care of themselves a little bit more. I did a whole class on self-care, and I feel like it's a huge and important topic. So I feel like that is, that's really part of the reason why I feel like change is needed. And another thing is, I feel like so many women get lost in their kids. They get lost in their husband. They don't really have their own identity. And not that this is bad. I love my kids and my husband, but I do feel like God has given me special and unique talents and gifts that he wants me to use. He wants me to use those to further his kingdom, and I feel like that's exactly why he gave those to me. And so for a long time, I wasn't using those. I was playing small. I wasn't really taking any chances. I was so in my comfort zone that I'll kind of explain a little bit later why it took me so long to even give this business a try. And so I feel like that's where a lot of women are. And I feel like oils and this business just unlocks that. And I've seen that with so many women and myself on my team just kind of explode. They just become who they were always meant to be. And I feel like that's exactly what happened to me. And also, one last thing, I feel like a lot of times as moms, especially, we are the ones that are responsible for a lot of things, and taking care of our kids, bringing, groceries home into the house. We have a lot of decisions that are on us. So if we want to take things in our own hands, we can. If we want to change the way they eat, we can. If we want to change the way we take care of ourselves and in turn them, we can. And so I feel like, especially with this business, I know this is, kind of focused on that, but with this product, I feel like people, and as a mom, I want to be my own advocate for myself and for my kids. I don't always want to have to go to get somebody else's opinion, such as a doctor. Not that I don't respect their opinion, but I want to listen to my body first. I want to see, what's going on in my kids' bodies. As moms, we know them best. And so when we kind of just throw that out the window and then go straight to the doctor and get their opinion, and that's all that we go on, I just feel like there's such a better start that you can have, and at least try, to kind of look at these things and really take charge of your own health, and then I guess in turn take charge of your whole family's health. So Jessica is going to talk for a little bit on these topics, and just to give her a little bit of an introduction, she is on my team. I have known her probably for about, I guess, 2 years or so. We did not know each other prior to this, but I'm extremely blessed to have her on my team. She pushes me. She's one of the hardest working people that I know. She has the most integrity of anybody that I know. She just is a great person to do business with, and I've learned a lot from her, and I'm excited to hear about what she has for us tonight.
Thanks, Carrie. Hi, everyone. I love everything you had to say so far, Carrie. I'm like taking notes on what you're saying. I feel like I'm always learning. You're great. Business. But just a little bit about who I am. When I was telling my husband about this call tonight, he always, he's getting more involved with the business, and he always is chiming in on different things, and he's normally right. So I like to include some things that, he was sharing today, and he was like, make sure you tell them that you're just an average person. And I feel like when a lot of us get involved with this business, I know for me, even right now, I'm sitting here comparing myself to Carrie and different things that she is that I'm not, and really doesn't matter. You know, Carrie and I are very different. Like she said, we didn't know each other. When I started this business, I enrolled with somebody who wasn't doing it as a business. I knew nothing about direct sales. I was just wanting to use the oils, and it turned into a business naturally and organically. It just happened, which I'm sure a lot of you can relate to. So just to tell you a little bit about myself, I live in the suburbs of Philadelphia. So I'm on the East Coast too, but a little further up north than Miss Carrie. And I live in a row home, nothing special, nothing fancy. I have a 4.5-year-old son. I am 30 weeks pregnant with my second son. I'm married to a man who is a union worker. He's basically like a laborer. He does physical work. Neither of us have a college degree. I have a golden retriever. We're just average people. You know, I don't have experience with oils prior to doTERRA. I knew nothing. It'll be 3 years in May that I found the oils, and it was a couple months after that that I started building. So prior to that, I knew nothing about essential oils. I don't have experience in, you know, sales or marketing or really anything like that. Just an average person. And the last thing I'll share that my team already knows, but it's something that's a huge part of me, is that I'm in recovery, and it's a huge part of who I am. And I just share that just to say that we're all so different, and you don't have to be someone special with a degree, with a crazy background to do this. You can come from any background you want, and this business, which I'll share later, is so much about personal growth. So that's just a little bit about me. As far as the first question, and I have notes like Carrie does too, as far as the first question of where we were before doTERRA, if you saw the millennial post, that is totally me. I am a total millennial. I was working in an office. I was an operations manager for a small family-owned company near my house. Drove there every day, clocked in pretty much 8:30 to 4:30. I felt very trapped there. I always had the feeling that when I got done my work, I felt like I should leave, even if it was like 9 a.m. If I was done my work for the day, why am I going to sit here for the rest of the day? I wanted to leave, and I still wanted to earn that salary. That's just my feeling. Hold on one second.
While she's gone, I also wanted to mention, I didn't do a very good job of introducing myself. I also wanted to mention I had no sales experience either, and I am very much an average person as well. So we have that in common for sure.
Yes, you are. And that's what I shared later in it. Like when I met Mary and Kristen, like when I saw how average they were, I'm like, I can do this, you know? But I know for me, I don't know about anybody else on this call, but it's so easy to differentiate ourselves and be like, well, they're this and I'm not. And make it almost as an excuse. So sorry about that. My son just spilled water, and I am home by myself right now. My husband had to be somewhere else tonight. So things happen, right? So anyway, felt very stuck in my job, total millennial mindset. I wanted flexible hours. I wanted more vacation. I wanted unlimited vacation time. I wanted unlimited sick time. I basically wanted to do what I wanted and still earn the same salary, and that was never going to happen. So I felt really stuck. I was doing pretty well for myself as far as salary is concerned. Like I said, I didn't graduate college, but I was earning a decent income. And I can relate to what Carrie said about wanting to be financially stable with or without my husband. So I paid my own bills. I paid, you know, our fair share of things. And I wanted to be always able to do that. But I lived paycheck to paycheck, honestly. And I just felt stuck. So as far as, you know, family time, can relate to what Carrie was saying. My son, we put him at school at the age of 2, and I was always wondering how people could do half-day kindergarten. I don't know about where you live, but around here, they have all these half-day kindergarten options. I'm like, who's picking these kids up half-day from kindergarten? Like, I have to go to work. So my son's school schedule, the way, you know, I had to be at work. So he was at school a half hour early every day. We were literally the first people there knocking on the door for the principal to let us in. And he sat there with the principal for a half hour until the rest of the kids got there. And then afterwards, he went to aftercare, and he was there for at least 2 hours afterwards until my husband and I could get to him. And that broke my heart. Now with doTERRA, now that I'm working this business full time from home, now we don't even get there on time. We're there like 5 minutes late now. But I can pick him up at dismissal. He's not there 1 second longer than he needs to be. So that's such a blessing for me, being able to spend more time with my family, being able to have a flexible schedule. And that's why change was needed for me. I refused to settle. And looking back on it, for a while, I guess that's just what I thought was going to be my life for the rest of my life. I didn't really know any other options. To be honest, direct sales and network marketing, I had a really bad taste in my mouth with other companies and other experiences I had with those companies. So I'm not sure what my thoughts would have been if I had known that doTERRA was direct sales. But since I have used the oils and fallen in love with them, I see the culture of doTERRA, and now it all makes sense. I didn't have to know it was network marketing because this culture is so different. It's about the products and it's about education. So it all makes sense as to how it happened now, looking back on it. So let me just make sure I covered, as far as, why change was needed for us physically and naturally. My husband and I were trying to be more natural and be conscious. We were just starting to really become conscious of what we were putting in our bodies and on our bodies. My son was 2 when I found doTERRA. And for me, once I had him, you worry about what you're using in the house. And, I'd be mopping the floor and he would dunk his hands in the bucket and you just get worried. I was really conscious about the food I was giving him. And so doTERRA found us at the right time. And I really feel that way about all of my customers and everyone on my team. I hear that experience and that testimony time and time again, that it found them right at the perfect time. And I can really relate to that. So as far as financially, there is no way that even with 20 more years of working in that job, I would have had enough in my retirement savings. I would still probably be living somewhat paycheck to paycheck. Just even with
I need to be quieter. I can't turn this up anymore.
Let me mute everyone, and you could unmute yourself.
Sure.
Again.
So even with, consistently going to work for the next 20, 30 years, I knew that I couldn't reach all of my financial goals. I did go to college. I didn't graduate, but I had student loans and I had credit card debt and all sorts of stuff that just kept piling up. So when I found doTERRA, it was the perfect change I needed. Mm-hmm. And the next topic I'll talk about with the next section. One last thing that I really liked what Carrie said about, moms getting back to being moms. I love that about this business. I didn't realize how much I enjoyed being a mom until I got to do it more. I was only seeing my son when I would pick him up at 5:30 and then he would go to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock. And that was the only time I got to see him, except on the weekends. And now that we spend more time together, our relationship has changed so much. We've grown an incredible amount. For the longest time, people would say, are you having more kids? And my answer was no, I can't afford it. I literally could not afford to have another child. The school district that we're in, it's not that great. So he goes to private school. The tuition bill is extremely high and we could not afford to have another one. And like I said in the beginning, I'm 30 weeks pregnant and, it's just been such a blessing, this business. So that's a little bit about where I was before doTERRA and why change was needed in our lives.
Do you want to go ahead and talk about the next section about why direct sales, and then
Okay. So the next, the question is why direct sales? And I'm really passionate about this topic. So I'm going to go ahead and start with it and then Carrie can chime in as well. So prior to direct sales, I always shared my favorite places to eat. If I went to a restaurant and it was great, I shared about it with friends. I shared about it on social media. Same thing with a new gym. I remember finding a new gym around here that I loved. And within a month or two, I had referred like 10 people to that gym who signed up for a membership. And that's just what direct sales is. It's about sharing a product that you love. I always share with people that I want you to do, if you want to do direct sales, I want it to be a company that you are passionate about, a product that you are passionate about. One thing about the doTERRA culture is it's not all about the business. It's all about the products. And I get really turned off, like I said, by direct sales companies that just do the business, do the business. You know, I feel like you see that a lot on social media. It's all about the business, and that really turns me off. You know, I love sharing this business opportunity with people. I think it's wonderful, but it's not for everybody. And like I said, one of my favorite statistics is 92% of people that are building with doTERRA started off just using the oils. So I know a lot of people have their screens hidden, but if you don't, raise your hand if you started off just using the oils and then you started doing a business later. It's 92% of people, right? So that is like such a good vibe, I think. You know, people want to share things that they're passionate about. So, you know, as far as direct sales, I was already doing that with other things. The direct sales industry is the same, sharing something you're passionate about. You know, if you look at Uber, the company Uber, they are a company, they don't own any vehicles. They just have people driving for them. And I think that that's going to be more of what we see in the future. That's going to be the new business model. And the direct sales industry is no different. So with direct sales, you have the ability to create a pipeline and earn residual income. We posted about that earlier in the event page today. And I love that story. I love that concept. You know, when I was talking about being in the office, that was hauling buckets every day, hauling buckets. And now so everyone starts off different when they start this business. For me, I was working full time. I have leaders that are stay-at-home moms, so their story is different. For me, I was working full-time and doing doTERRA, so I had to sacrifice some family time in order to go out and teach classes at night and on the weekends. But I knew that that was a pipeline. I knew that I was building a pipeline, and now here I am, you know, 2.5+ years later. My son's on spring break, and I'm off the entire week with him. I can do what I want because I've built this pipeline. I can have this baby in hopefully May. I'm not due till June, but I can have this baby and take a little bit of a maternity leave and still earn an income. That is the beauty of a pipeline. So that's one reason I love direct sales. You can take your vacations, you can take your sick day, you can still earn income. You can also build that retirement fund and build it much quicker and higher than people that are working 40+ years. You know, people that are retiring today don't have the retirement fund that they should. I know plenty of people that aren't even tapping into their 401k that their companies are offering because they're living paycheck to paycheck and they can't afford to put into the 401k. So with direct sales, you can do that. You can create that pipeline and just build so many dreams. You can create your own schedule. You can achieve any goal you want. You can earn a raise every year. You can earn a raise every month. When I've looked back over I love Carrie's post with her graph showing her monthly income over the last 4 years. It's just insane. You know, I hit diamond in January, and when I look at the income difference between, you know, this time last year and now, it's like never, ever would it be a possibility in my old position, ever. Not even after 20 years, let alone in 12 months. It's just crazy. With direct sales, you can create your own culture. You know, if you're starting this business, you're going to have your own team. You get to create the culture. You know, I was in a company, in an office with a terrible culture. And every time I tried to change it, I failed. I could not change the culture in that office. It was negative. It was miserable. You know, for good reason for some people, you know, they were stuck there. But now I have an amazing team and we have an amazing culture, and it's just such a different way of life. You can help other people do all of that too. So that's just such a blessing. You know, the leaders on my team, they have goals, they have dreams, they want a certain culture, they want to buy things, they want to send their kids to certain schools, and I can help them do that. One thing, well, I'll hold off on that thought. You get to work with people who share your passion every day. I get to go out to lunch with my builders. I get to have them over my house, and we get to talk about this amazing business and these amazing oils, and I just love it, you know. Or I can take a nap if I want, you know. My days, I take naps. I do a lot. Your business is whatever you want it to be. Personal growth, huge reason why I love direct sales. You really get to work on yourself and become a better person. And last but most important, direct sales is all about relationships. And I've met some amazing people on this journey. So why doTERRA specifically? We have unbelievable products that work. If you're on this call, you've most likely used essential oils with doTERRA, and you know that they're amazing and they work really well. We have a product that people are searching for right now. It's 2017. People are searching for natural solutions. They're searching for doTERRA. I truly believe in my heart that in 3 to 4 years, it's going to be in everybody's house. So who are they going to get it from? It's also a consumable product. As long as you're providing education, people are using the essential oils and they're going to refill them and order more oils. It is a culture unlike any other. So Carrie posted earlier about the 3 keys to network marketing. The product, I just mentioned that. Next up is the people. doTERRA has a culture unlike any other. The executives all the way down to us, the advocates out there sharing oils and teaching people. The executive team is so humble. They're so generous. The co-impact sourcing, the fact that the company's debt-free, just all the stories that I've heard from them. I've seen them at live events, and they literally give you goosebumps. It's amazing. If you haven't gotten to a live event, I definitely recommend that. We have the highest retention rate, so that is huge in this industry. You want to make sure that obviously you're building a stable business. So when you're enrolling people and educating them, we have, anywhere between 60 to 70% of those people are reordering. If you look at the industry standard, it's below 20% for a lot of companies. So we have a really high retention rate. We're the largest essential oil company in the world, and we are the only company that is publishing the testing reports for essential oils. So that makes us really stand out. And then the compensation plan. So product, people, plan. The compensation plan is amazing. If you look, you can look at anyone's compensation plan online. It's like a different language. So I always tell my team, just look at it until you understand it. I Googled doTERRA compensation plan and looked at the purple and white graph every single day for a year. That is no exaggeration, because it was Chinese to me. I could not understand it. I don't understand the LRP, OV, PV, like seriously, OMG, I could not understand it at all. So I just looked at it over and over again until it started clicking, and it works. I'm proof of it. Carrie's proof of it. The first training I went to was about a year into the business, and that's where I met someone in our upline. Her name's Mary Hyatt, and she was a Blue Diamond at the time. And like I was saying earlier, she was just an average woman. She had an average life. She had struggles. She had successes. She had all these experiences that I could relate to, and she was earning a really nice paycheck. And that's when it started clicking for me that, like, okay, if she can do it, I can do it. And our compensation plan works. It's black and white. It works. If you need someone to explain it to you more in depth, please let us know. We can help you with that. But do your research, Google it, watch videos, get on trainings, go to, trainings in your area or your Zoom calls that your team provides, and just learn more about it. But it works. The only variable is me and you. That's the only variable in your business. So I love that, I know that if I work hard, I'm getting a bigger paycheck. I know that if I teach more classes, I'm getting a bigger paycheck. In my old job, that didn't happen. I remember sitting in sales meetings, being coached on sales, and in the back of my head thinking, my paycheck's going to be the same. Like, this is terrible. And I just wasn't connected like I am with this, So the compensation plan works. Nobody can hold you back. I love that about this business. You can surpass your upline in rank. And I know with other companies, that's different. In other companies, I don't know what it's called or how it works, but if you reach their rank or you get higher, you fall off the tree or something, I don't know. But in doTERRA, that doesn't happen. You can have a gold upline, and you can be presidential diamond. You can be whatever you want. No one can hold you back, and I love that. Another reason I love doTERRA is the personal growth. I mean, this team in particular, we are so passionate about personal growth, developing our leadership skills, developing our people skills, how we treat people, how we respect others, being loyal, not cross-recruiting, like all these things that other companies that I see on social media and I see in my other networks and circles happening, that does not happen with doTERRA. It's just such an amazing culture, the personal growth. I've seen people on my team that have gone from, I'm going to do this business, but I'm telling you, Jess, I'm really insecure and I'm really shy and this and that. and they can get up and teach classes in front of 20 and 30 people now, and they're rock stars. You know, like the personal growth is just unbelievable. I already talked about my favorite statistics, about the 92%. And then the last thing I want to mention about why doTERRA is the education. There's so much education out there on the products and the business. So, you know, especially with this team, if you decide to build a business with doTERRA, like Carrie and I said, we knew nothing when we started, but you can learn. There's so much education and support out there for our customers and for the business. So you just have to put yourself out there, let us know that you need help, or we can point you in the right direction. You know, Zoom calls, live trainings, the Essential Life book, learnoils.me. There's just so much out there that we can help you with. You're definitely not alone. So that is what I have about those two topics.
Thank you so much. I think that we're on the same page with everything. And I mean, I love that you have a different view of things. You know, I just was listening to you talk, and it brought up a few things that I was not going to mention, or that I hadn't thought about really. Just to think about what you were saying about the direct sales industry, it really is all about self-development and getting out of your comfort zone. And then you know, you realize that you didn't want to settle. And I look back and think all I did was settle, you know, and I didn't even know that I didn't want to. I know that kind of sounds crazy, but I mean, I guess I just didn't know there was any other way. And I'm constantly, I mean, like you were saying, the financial situation that you were in, you were living paycheck to paycheck and couldn't even have another child because of that. But me, on the other hand, I mean, I thought I was financially sound, and I was. You know, we you know, on a pharmacist's salary, I mean, you know, you were living fine. You know, we're not extravagant people. But the thing is, you know, I was stuck at a job that I hated, so it doesn't even matter. You know, I should have been looking for something else, but I just didn't know that was an option. And honestly, you know, I'll talk about this a little bit more. I said that earlier, but when I talk about what the building a business looks like, I mean, it took me being just basically ripped out of my comfort zone to even get started in this business, because I was just so far, you know, in my comfort zone, because I didn't need to really get out of it. You know, if I would have stayed where I was, I mean, I guess I would have just lived an average life, which a lot of people do. But I'm constantly having to remind myself I've got to get out of my comfort zone, whether it's getting up, you know, at 5:30 in the morning to do some self-development and have some time for myself. I'm constantly having to get out of my comfort zone. And it's you know, it's always good, but it's not easy. And so I think a lot of people just settle, and I was definitely one of those people. And I cannot agree more with what Jessica said about the people being negative at my workplace. I just remember coming home and just being so frustrated, and just maybe taking out of my husband, and just had a bad day because I had given it all I had, tried to be as positive as I could. I mean, I'm a pretty positive person, but some of those people were just like a drain. And I don't really think you can realize that until you get out of that situation. I actually told my husband that I feel like he's kind of going through some of the same situations, and he doesn't even realize how negative it is until you actually get out of it, and you're like, wow, that's like a weight has been lifted. You know, when you don't have to really, like she said, I mean, it's all up to you. You know, if something isn't going well in your business, you can look in the mirror, because that's exactly who needs to change something. And that's not always easy. And I feel like direct sales is a really good business model because it's an equalizer. That means that everybody has the same opportunity. And for some people, that's really scary. They don't know how to build their business. Not saying that I did. This was not something I ever saw myself doing. And I'm still having to figure this all out, honestly, from the position that I'm in and leading a team. I mean, it's just not something I ever saw myself doing. But, you know, people that have a bad taste in their mouth about direct sales or multi-level marketing, they either don't know, or they have a very low opinion of their self, and so therefore they have a low opinion of this business model, because it brings out all your faults. You can't, you know, I mean, I guess you can sit there and keep telling yourself that it's not you, but it is, you know, and that's why self-development is so important, and that's why I'll read about 2 books a month. I'm always listening to something, but honestly, I love that. And I needed that more, you know, in the past than I even realized. You know, I thought I was just, you know, not that I thought I was perfect, but I mean, I never knew how much more I could grow. You know, I was just so stuck in my little bubble in my comfort zone. And so I'm so thankful that I was able to get out. And really, like I said, I feel like this is what God wanted for me all along. He wanted me to show other people, you know, and just use my gifts that he gave me, and I wasn't doing that. So I do love that about direct sales. Unlike Jessica, I didn't really know a lot about direct sales. I never really had that many dealings with it. You know, I guess if you would have asked me, you know, I would have said no, probably, just because didn't think I was a salesman, you know, and I'll kind of talk a little bit about that in another section, but I'm definitely not that. And so it's just something that, you know, that's why it's so great. Anybody can do it. You don't have to have all these qualities. But it's becoming more and more talked about, because there are some other companies that maybe they aren't doing things in the best way. And so sometimes that can leave a negative taste in your mouth. But that's why I kind of said, be open about this. You know, sometimes you just get so turned off, but if you just have an open mind and just know that what we're saying is true, this product is different, the culture is different. So, you know, I think that she mainly hit on everything that I had kind of, you know, thought about in direct sales. But I did want to mention that I actually figured it up, how much my commission increased over each year that I've been with doTERRA. So where else can you have this opportunity? My mind is blown, and I'm so thankful. Okay, so the first year that I was with doTERRA, obviously this is a larger number because I went from 0. 278% in the first year, my income increased. The second year, it was 47%. And might I add that I didn't hardly do anything that year because I had my son and I was still working full time. So to have your commission increase 47%, mind you, it was higher, you know, obviously at the end of the first year. And then that whole year, like I said, I really basically took it off. And that was when we really, and especially my husband, you know, a lot of times dollars talk when they want to kind of, you know, oh, what are you doing now, you know? So just to see, he knew what I was doing, which was basically taking care of a newborn and working all the time. And he saw my paycheck increase every month almost. And he was like, wow, you know, this is great. And it just makes you, makes you realize that's what residual income is. Not that I want to take a whole year off, and not that I'm just going to sit back and prop my feet up. But I mean, just think about those life things that happen, and that you're still, you know, this business is still there, you know, and you can pick it back up and you know, pour yourself back into it. But just wanted to mention that. So the third year, it increased 184%. And so this is the year, I guess it would have been last year. So a lot. I mean, if you think about, my paycheck was a good bit more after the second year, and just think about it, it increased again 184%. So that's just something that would never happen anywhere else. And, you know, especially as a pharmacist, did I ever think that, you know, this could happen for me? Absolutely not. And that it would basically replace my income. So very, very thankful for that. Just wanted to show you exactly what that growth looked like. So why doTERRA? You know, Jessica hit on all the good points. She took all my points. No, just kidding. She had some great points, but you know, I just really feel like it's the culture. I mean, not only is it the products, you know, I think we talk a lot about the products, and because I mean, they're awesome. You know, I mean, it's just like, if you can ever get somebody to try a sample, to have an experience, they're hooked, because it is that great, you know. And sometimes I feel like we don't talk about all the other great things that doTERRA has to offer. And the pay and the culture, to me, which are the people, are two of the biggest things. Because, you know, before I went to a live event, did I know to what extent the culture is awesome and all that? Probably not. But when you attend one of those events and you see the atmosphere that is there, people are excited to be there. People love being there. They just, you know, and when you see conventions sell out in 1 or 2 days, 35,000 tickets or whatever it is, I mean, that's excitement, folks. I mean, I don't know many other companies that are doing that. And I just feel like, what an awesome opportunity to be a part of that. Because, you know, I think just thinking about different things that people like to be involved in, whether it be church or a group or whatever, you know, it's just like, that's what brings people in, and that's what makes them want to be a part of it, is the excitement that people want to be there, that nobody's pulling you along, nobody's chaining you, you know, dragging you behind them. You know, no, people want to be there, and they're knocking down doors to get there. And that really says a lot about their culture. Like she mentioned, the executive team, you know, some higher ups in some of these companies I've heard a lot of bad things about. And I can tell you, when an executive gets on stage and a grown man cries, I'm sorry, like, they have heart. They love this company. They at the beginning, they didn't take a paycheck for, I think, 1 or 2 years or something like that, because they believed so much in this mission, and they wanted to own the company themselves. They didn't want to have any outside investors. And so just to know all of that, there's many more facts about them, but they're people of high integrity, and they're always looking to see how they can help us. At leadership recently, they said that they take every Monday to kind of brainstorm on ways that they can help us more. I mean, a whole day devoted just to see, how they can help us, as, we're the messengers of the message. How can they help us more? And I don't know, most, higher ups like that, they just want more money, or they want this or that, or whatever it might be. They're not looking out for the people of the company. So that really speaks highly of them to me. Let's see. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Really? Oh, sure. What?
Does Eliza have her hand raised?
I think it was from earlier.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think. So I feel like, as a pharmacist, this is really exciting for me. I've always known that basically, like I said, when I got into pharmacy, I like to help people and serve people in healthcare. I mean, I like that field. But honestly, essential oils they're nature's medicine. I mean, they're what we started off with before, man kind of interjected and a little bit, I love modern medicine for when it's needed, but we kind of mess stuff up, and so to go back to that as a pharmacist, that's really where my roots are. Is really, is something that's always clicked with me. And some people think that that's weird that I'm a pharmacist and now do this, but to me, it's just a natural thing. And so once you explain it like that, most people are like, oh, okay. But at leadership recently, they announced that their plans are to kind of be the next movement in healthcare. And so to be with a company and partner with a company that is so on a mission that they want to change lives, and that's what truly changes lives, not going to the pharmacy and picking up your prescriptions and living that day in, day out, living with the side effects, living with not having any other options. To know that they're so committed to that really makes me excited. And so just that's one more reason why I feel like, why doTERRA. That's exactly why I feel like this is such a great opportunity for the future. Some people might look at me or Jessica and think, well, they must have gotten in earlier. They must have had a better opportunity or something like that. But honestly, it's just getting started. That's what a lot of people said that took that stage, and they always say we're just getting started, because that's true. This is not going anywhere. This is really the future of healthcare. I really believe that, and so that makes me extremely excited, definitely as a pharmacist. One more thing about why doTERRA, it really allows my voice to shine. And it, when you take the product out of the way, we know the product works. It's great. That allows you to shine. What message do you have? Who are you supposed to reach? I really feel like that, when you take that out of the equation, when you don't have to sell a product. Listen, I don't sell a product. I give education. I give the means. I'll help you get it, but I'm never going to try to sell anybody on anything, because I don't have to. That's what I'm saying. If you can, get people to a class, if you can give them a sample, you don't need to sell on anything. They're gonna know it works. They're gonna be impressed with the product alone. So to me, I love that allows us to shine as wellness advocates and building our team, which is great. We each have gifts that need to shine. So I love that part about it. So what does building this business look like? So I'm going to start. This is the last section. I know we're getting close to being at an hour, so I'm going to try to hurry. I'm sorry. For me, what this business looks like is getting to live out my passion every single day, getting to wake up and just live my life, and that's how I build my business. When I get to just do what I love and just show that to other people, and that's how that's how you attract other people and are able to help them, is by living out, your passion and what your strengths are. And so for me, at a very high level, that's exactly what it looks like. Yes, there's lots of different things we can say, about building a business. Is it easy? Yes and no. No, there is a lot of sacrifice that goes into building a business for sure. I mean, it is a business. So, I mean, you have to think about the time sacrifice. But honestly, what other business can you start for $100 of product that you get to use yourself? No inventory, no set thing kit that you have to buy, nothing like that. You can get started for as little as $35. Obviously, you would want to buy some oils, but the thing is, it's so great because of that. If any other business, you would probably have to invest thousands of dollars. You wouldn't get a return for maybe 2 or 3 years on your investment. You'd be living tight then. And you can make a return on your investment the first week, the first month. I mean, you can get your oils paid for very fast. And so that's kind of off topic, but I feel like that's, for me, I just feel like it's such a great opportunity on all levels. Not a salesman, that's great. People ask me all the time, do I have to sell something? Do I have to be a salesman? I already talked about that. That's probably the number one most thing. Now, I don't want to sell these because I'm not a salesman. And I'll just be like, okay. And then normally they'll come back and realize that you don't have to sell these. But I understand that that's a big thing at first. Really what building a business looks like is empowering others. Whether you're sharing at a class, empowering other people that come, or whether you're empowering your team. I mean, I think that looking back and looking forward to, I'm so excited for the people on my team to reach their goals and to see them shine more than I am myself, just to seeing how lives have changed and how, people have stepped into the light and are shining and are out there just affecting so many more people. That's enough for me. Like, I would do this regardless of money. It's a great financial return for me, but I just love it. I love seeing and helping other people reach their dreams and goals as well. Let's see. Okay. One more thing that I wanted to mention this was that, building a business for me was not something obviously that I got started with the oils for, and it was something I really resisted. Honestly, I stayed up 4 straight nights. I could not sleep. It was about 6 months after I had gotten my oils. I'd signed actually a few people up. People were just coming to me. They just wanted, I guess I was a share with them, but, it was that next step that I did not want to take, teaching a class. I'd never taught a class. And I just remember thinking, why can't I go to sleep? I'm pouring the oils on. Why can't I go to sleep? And God quietly whispered, it's time for that next step. And I just really want you to know I resisted, and it's not something that came easy for me. And even the first class, it was scary. It was hard. It's not sometimes easy to get up in front of people, but it gets easier, and it's most definitely worth it. Any of the sacrifices, any of the hard times have always been worth it, and they will continue to be worth it for me. So lastly, kind of on this topic, how to supplement or replace your income. So like I was saying, with $100 investment, that's what I talk about that because that's what doTERRA requires you to have to earn commission is 100 PV order each month. You can be able to save your 7-figure income with that, with only $100 investment a month, which is unbelievable. So it's just something that, is very low risk. And I like that because I don't like to feel trapped. I don't want to feel like I have all this product or I have to place this huge order every month to keep my spot or whatever. I don't really know a lot about other companies, but I've heard some bad things. And so just to know that if I ever wanted out, I could be out just like that. There's no investment for me that I would have to get rid of. And so when you're first starting it, I feel like it's a comfort to know that. They don't push you into anything, and they really allow you to build your business the way that you want to, that works best for you, because everybody's different. And I love that you can build it however you want. And I'm sure Jessica does hers different than mine, and that's fine. Whatever works for you is what you need to do. And lastly, just to even say that I was able to replace my pharmacy income in 3 years, and that's with basically taking a whole year off with my son, maybe a year and a half. It's just something that I don't want to keep quiet about. I just want to tell more people about it because I feel like there's someone out there, maybe even somebody on this call, that needs it desperately. They, maybe you already have the product and you love it. It's a great opportunity. It's just out there for anybody that wants to take advantage of it, and just know that you can go as fast as slow as you want to, but it's the right next step. If you're hearing somebody say, trying to push you gently, just take that next step. That's all I do every day is take the next step. So that's all. You go ahead, Jess.
Okay, so for what does building a business look like for me? As I said earlier, when I started sharing the oils, I had enrolled with someone who wasn't doing the business. It wasn't Carrie. And I probably didn't meet Carrie for, I don't know if it was like 6 months or a year into it. But, you know, in the beginning, building the business was really like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? No one in my area that I knew of was doing this as a business. I kept posting in the different groups, is anyone in the Philadelphia area? And it was like crickets, you know, I wasn't hearing anything. So in the back of my head, I knew I had a great opportunity, but I didn't have any direction. And now looking back, that was like the best thing for me because I just paved the way. I figured it out. You know, my first class, I looked up YouTube videos and I played them back to back to back. And one of my frontline leaders can attest to that. She was sitting on my couch. She enrolled that night and she started doing the business a couple months later. But in the beginning, it was a lot of, you know, self-discovery and trying to figure this business out. And, you know, what should I do? What should I buy? I don't know how to use these oils. Like just, you know, kind of like wandering. But, you know, I was so passionate about it and I saw the bigger picture that I just kept going. I just kept going because I knew something great was going to happen. And then, you know, I linked up with Carrie and, you know, she's been able to provide mentorship and leadership that I didn't have for a year. And that has helped me stay on track. But, you know, and she can tell you even now, you know, I'm very self-sufficient, you know, like I don't contact her on a daily basis, you know, asking for guidance. And that's okay. You know, some people need that. I'm just not that type of person. I'm a very self-starting go-getter. So, you know, I wake up, I always share this with my team. In the beginning, it wasn't natural for me to share these oils, to talk about the business, to ask people to host classes. So I had a checklist that I made. I printed it out and I had the days of the month going across the top. And every day I had to look at the checklist and say, okay, which of these action steps can I do today? And I had to use that spreadsheet for probably 3 or 4 months before that became natural to me. And once it became natural, that's what building a business started to look like. Every day I started incorporating oils in my conversations. I worked on building relationships. I worked on myself, personal development, reading books, watching Periscope videos, I resisted the team Zoom calls for at least a year. I just refused to get on them. And once I started getting on them, I started learning so much about the oils and so much about the business that I still kick myself in the butt for not getting on them. But that's just how I am. I learned the hard business, you know, it's a flexible schedule. My son's on spring break. I slept today till 8:45 a.m. That I love sleep. You probably know that about me by now. I get to do lunch with my friends when I want to. I get to spend time with my family. My husband, like I said, is a union worker, so he gets laid off from time to time. He happens to be laid off this week too. So it's spring break. My son and my husband are both home. You know, we spent 2.5 hours in my in-laws today because my father-in-law is not doing well. You know, I wasn't stuck in an office for that. I was able to be there and be present and, you know, I get to spend my time how I want it. Building relationships, like Carrie said, every day I get to do that. I get to hang out with my friends. I get to have phone conversations when I want to, and I get to do what I want. I love it. Spending more time with my family. You know, Carrie mentioned sacrifice, and you know, I think a lot of people, that comes up a lot. Like, well, am I going to miss this? And am I going to miss that? And, you know, if you're working full time and you're going to start this business, you are going to have to sacrifice some things because that window of time at home between, you know, 6 p.m. and bedtime, you know, there may be one night a week where you're going out to teach a class now. So you may have to sacrifice that time. But I saw the bigger picture, and hopefully that you can too, that one day that window is going to be huge. It's going to be much bigger than it is now. And that, you know, I still go out and teach classes at night. I'm on this call right now, but I spent the whole day with my son. So, you know, I knew that that was a possibility and I saw the bigger picture. So I just kept plugging away. This business, the direct sales industry is so much about consistency and not quitting. If you haven't read the Go Pro book by Eric Worre, it's just basic network marketing. It's not just about doTERRA, it's about the industry in general. And I can really relate to what he talks about with direct sales. And, you know, if you have told someone, I'm going to start sharing oils, or I'm going to start selling oils, whatever lingo you're using, you know, how many people have rolled their eyes at you? It happens to me all the time. It happens in this area. I don't know about you and where you live, and that comes from people. I mean, how many people do you know that have started a direct sales company and have quit? So many people do. And the biggest reason why is because they're not consistent. You know, they sell to their warm market, and then it gets a little tough, and you need a little work on yourself. You have to get outside of your comfort zone, and they quit. And I just refuse to quit. And I educate my team on that topic all the time. And I tell them, I forget what the exact wording is, but don't quit because your big thing's just about to happen, or something like that. And I've seen it time and time again when people get really frustrated with this business and they feel like they want to quit. They're one enrollment or one class away from changing their business. You just have to stay consistent and keep going to the trainings and keep tapping into what is available to you. So, you know, on a day-to-day basis, I work on getting outside of my comfort zone. I work on talking to new people, talking to strangers, mentoring, leadership. That is not easy for me. I really have to work on that. I have to, you know, work on personalities and learning about people. So I spend a lot of my time doing that. But the basics of this business is sharing the oils and educating people. So I'm constantly finding a balance between working on myself as far as the leadership's concerned and helping my team, but also balancing the fact that I'm sharing the oils and I'm educating people too. So it's just a balance between that. Some days I have to write down 9 a.m., call Carrie, 10 a.m., call Christine, 11 a.m., follow up with everyone I enrolled in February. And I have to write a list hour by hour of the things I need to do, or else I'll scroll Facebook all day and nothing will get done. Other days I'll get lost in laundry and dishes and, you know, cleaning up the house, and nothing will get done. So, but I love that I have the flexibility to do that. I wonder how I got laundry and dishes done prior to this. I'm not sure. And then the last thing I want to touch on that, and I'm kind of doing both, what does it look like and supplementing your income. But I love what Carrie said about, you know, everyone going at a different pace. And I've talked about comparison already on this call and feeling different than people. And, you know, we have people in our upline that hit diamond in a year. And there's people that it takes 5 years to hit diamond. You know, this business, you can do at your own pace. For $100 a month, you can do it at your own pace. And that $100 a month, I bet you're using and loving those oils anyway. So, and you'd be spending it anyway. So it's just a matter of your goals. You know, why are you doing it? Do you want more time with your family? Do you need a certain amount of income per month? And then working backwards from those goals to create action steps to help you get there. So, you know, I'm really, really happy about where this business has taken me. I can't imagine my life any other way today. I'm so grateful for this opportunity and, you know, the relationships I have. My 4 frontline leaders, we all live very close to one another. We talk every single day. We're all really good friends. And it just couldn't have worked out really any better for me. But we get to share this passion with each other and with others in our community. It's just been such an amazing adventure. So that is all I have.
Thank you, Jessica. We're 4 minutes over. That's not too terrible. Thank you guys for staying with us. I hope that you enjoyed this. You know, just to end, I really love what Jessica said. You know, I felt she has a great community on her team. And I think that's really something that was lacking in my life. I could be a very private person and not necessarily, you know, maybe before this branch out of my comfort zone and didn't have a whole lot of, I mean, I won't say I was like, poor pitiful me, I didn't have any friends, but I felt like I didn't have a great community. And that's exactly what I have now. You know, we tell that to people all the time. And it's the truth. I mean, when you enter, you know, on a team with us, you're getting a community of people that are like-minded, that are trying to better themselves, and that are just, I mean, I have hardly ever come in contact with a negative person that's caused any issues, or that's, you know, everybody is in a mindset of we just want to help people, you know, and that means other people, as in customers that come in, and that means within those that are building a team. So doTERRA does have that culture, and I feel like just the team that I have, I'm extremely grateful for them. So if I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're feeling like you want to take the next step, please reach out to whoever enrolled you. If they aren't actively building a business, please just keep reaching up. Me or Jessica would be happy to help you. So thank you guys for joining. I'm going to post a recording. I hope too many people weren't able to get on, but if you want to share this with anybody, please feel free to do that if they weren't able to get on, or if you thought about somebody else that you didn't invite to the event. So thank you all, and we will see you later. Y'all have a great night. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.